everything disappears. Every person Link helped, every friend he made, every moment he spent believing Koholint Island was real, all of it vanishes the instant the windfish awakens. Marin, the girl who saved his life and sang him songs, ceases to exist. The villagers who needed his help, the shopkeepers who sold him items, the children who played in Mabe Village, gone. As if they never lived at all. Because they didn't. They were dreams. And Link knew this would happen before he collected the final instrument, before he climbed Mount Tamaranch, before he played the Ballad of the Windfish one last time. He knew awakening the windfish meant destroying an entire world. He did it anyway. This is the full story of Link's awakening, a tale where the hero saves himself by condemning everyone else. The adventure begins after Link's triumph over Ganon in A Link to the Past. Peace returns to Hyrule, the kingdom celebrates its hero, but Link feels restless despite his victory. According to the game's instruction manual, the hero believes he needs further training and enlightenment to prepare for future threats against his homeland. Who knows what dangers may arise from Ganon's ashes? The restless murmurs of Hyrule's people echo this concern. Link decides he must journey away from Hyrule on a quest to gain wisdom that will make him better able to withstand the next catastrophe. Link embarks by ship, traveling to foreign lands to seek this enlightenment. The details of his training remain a mystery, but after completing his journey, Link begins sailing home to Hyrule. During the voyage back, disaster strikes. A tremendous storm catches Link's vessel at sea. Lightning splits the sky, waves tower above the ship, the wind howls with such fury that the ship cannot withstand the battering. The vessel breaks apart, splintering into driftwood. Link is thrown into the churning ocean, his consciousness fading as the waves swallow him. When Link awakens, he finds himself in an unfamiliar house, lying on a soft bed. A young woman watches over him. Someone who looks remarkably like Princess Zelda. Link's vision blurs. The woman smiles and introduces herself. Her name is Marin, not Zelda, and Link has washed ashore on Koholint Island. Marin and her father Terran discovered Link unconscious on Taranbo shores, brought him to their home in Mabe Village, and nursed him back to health. Marin appears fascinated by Link and curious about the world beyond the island. She dreams of leaving Koholint, of becoming a seagull that could fly anywhere and share her songs with people across distant lands. After recovering enough strength, Link needs to retrieve his sword, which remains on the beach where Marin found him. He makes his way to Taranbo shores. The moment Link picks up his blade, a mysterious owl swoops down from the sky. The owl speaks cryptically, explaining that high on the mountaintops of Koholint Island sits a giant egg. Inside that egg sleeps a whale-like being known as the Windfish. According to the owl, the Windfish must awaken. It's the only way Link can leave Koholint Island. The owl instructs Link to venture north into the mysterious forest to find a key, then flies away without further explanation. Left with nothing but riddles and questions, Link enters the mysterious forest. The woods are strange, filled with unusual creatures and hidden paths. Link encounters a raccoon blocking the way forward, a peculiar obstacle that refuses to move. Eventually, Link discovers magic powder and sprinkles it on the raccoon. The creature transforms, revealing itself to be Terran, Marin's father, who somehow got turned into a raccoon. With Terran's transformation reversed and the path cleared, Link finds the tail key hidden in a chest deep in the forest. The owl reappears, directing Link to use the tail key to enter Tail Cave, the first dungeon. Link ventures inside and battles through the cave's monsters and puzzles. The dungeon culminates in a confrontation with Moldorm, a massive worm-like creature that can only be damaged by striking its tail. After a challenging battle, Link defeats Moldorm and discovers a mystical instrument, the Full Moon Cello, the first of the instruments of the Sirens. Emerging from the cave, Link again encounters the owl, who explains the significance of what Link just found. There are 8 instruments of the Sirens scattered across Koholint Island, each hidden in a dungeon. Link must retrieve all 8 instruments to awaken the Windfish. Only then can he leave the island and return home. This becomes Link's quest. Explore Koholint Island, locate the dungeons, defeat their guardians, collect the instruments, and ultimately wake the slumbering deity. Link's journey takes him across diverse regions of Koholint Island. The second instrument, the conch horn, resides in Bottle Grot, a dungeon infested with poisonous creatures. Link battles a genie who emerges from a bottle, knocking the entity back into its prison repeatedly until victory is achieved. The third instrument, the Sea Lily's Bell, waits in Key Cavern, a puzzle-heavy dungeon where Link faces the Slime Eel, a grotesque creature that attacks from holes in the walls. As Link progresses, he notices strange elements throughout Koholint Island. Nintendo characters from completely different games appear without explanation. Goombas and piranha plants from Super Mario Bros. Inhabit dungeons alongside traditional Zelda enemies. Link encounters a chain chomp that becomes his companion temporarily. In Mabe Village, a character named Mr. Right receives love letters with a photograph of Princess Peach attached. These surreal crossovers create an atmosphere where reality feels uncertain, where the rules of the world seem flexible and dreamlike. Marin becomes increasingly important to Link's journey. Later in the adventure, Link needs to travel through Yarna Desert to find the fourth instrument, but a massive walrus blocks his path, sleeping soundly and refusing to budge. One of the rabbit siblings in Animal Village tells Link that Marin's beautiful voice can awaken those who hear her sing. Link finds Marin on Taranbo shores, where she confesses her deepest wish. She wants to be a seagull so she can fly around the world and share her songs with people across distant lands. She hopes she can someday make this wish to the windfish. Link brings Marin to Animal Village, where her singing awakens the walrus. The creature moves aside, allowing access to Yarna Desert. Marin decides to stay in Animal Village, and Link ventures alone into the desert to retrieve the angler key from Angler Tunnel. Inside, Link defeats the anglerfish and claims the fourth instrument, the surf harp. Throughout these adventures, Marin and Link grow closer. She clearly develops feelings for him, although she understands their time together may be limited.
The turning point comes before Link retrieves the sixth instrument. The owl directs Link to visit the Southern Face Shrine, an ancient ruin containing important truths. When Link arrives at the shrine, he discovers a mural depicting the windfish alongside cryptic writing on the wall. The words read, "To the finder, the Isle of Koholint is but an illusion. Human, monster, sea, sky. A scene on the lid of a sleeper's eye. Awake the dreamer, and Koholint will vanish much like a bubble on a needle. Castaway, you should know the truth." This revelation shakes Link to his core. Koholint Island isn't real. It's a dream, specifically the windfish's dream. Every inhabitant, every building, every experience Link has had exists only in the sleeping deity's mind. The owl appears after Link reads this devastating message, acknowledging that while the relief does say the island is merely a dream of the windfish, no one can truly know for certain. The owl notes that just as one cannot know if a chest holds treasure until opening it, Link cannot tell if this is a dream until he awakens. Only the windfish knows for sure. The owl advises Link to trust his feelings, suggesting that someday he will know the truth. The other dungeon bosses begin acknowledging this reality. Facade, the boss of Face Shrine where Link obtains the sixth instrument, warns Link directly. "Okay, listen up. If the windfish wakes up, everything on this island will be gone forever. And I do mean everything." The slime eel from earlier had also taunted Link, hinting that he didn't understand what kind of island Koholint truly is. The monsters aren't just obstacles. They're desperate beings trying to prevent their own erasure. Despite these warnings, Link continues his quest. He retrieves the Organ of Evening Calm from Face Shrine, the Thunder Drum from Eagle's Tower, and finally the Coral Triangle from Turtle Rock. On his way to Turtle Rock, Link finds Marin trapped on a dilapidated bridge, placed there by monsters after she sang the Ballad of the Windfish in front of the egg. The monsters feared she might awaken the windfish. Link rescues her using his hookshot, crossing the dangerous gap. Marin wants to tell Link something important, something personal, but Taran interrupts before she can speak, and the moment is lost forever.
With all 8 instruments of the sirens collected, Link makes his final journey up the tall mountain range to Mount Tamaranch's peak. The windfish's egg sits there, enormous and imposing, glowing faintly in the mountain air. Link stands before the egg and plays the 8 instruments together. They produce the Ballad of the Windfish, the song Marin taught him, the melody she sang so beautifully. The music resonates through the mountain. The egg begins to crack, fissures spreading across its shell until an entrance opens. Link ventures inside the windfish's egg. The interior is a maze-like structure with identical-looking rooms, each offering 4 exits. To navigate correctly, Link must remember a specific sequence of directions written in Dark Secrets and Mysteries of Koholint, a book in Maeve Village's library that can only be read using the magnifying lens obtained through the game's trading sequence. Following the correct path through 9 rooms, Link finds a hole in the ground that leads down to the final chamber. Inside that chamber waits the true antagonist, the Shadow Nightmares. These creatures were born from nightmares themselves. They made the windfish sleep endlessly, because if the windfish doesn't wake up, Koholint Island will never disappear. The Shadow Nightmares intended to become the masters of the dream world, ruling it forever. But Link's arrival disrupted their plans. The Shadow Nightmares created the monsters scattered across Koholint to prevent Link from awakening the windfish and ending their reign. The final battle begins. The Shadow Nightmares transform continuously, cycling through various forms trying to defeat Link. They take the shape of Aghanim, the wizard Link fought in A Link to the Past. They become Ganon himself, the great evil Link defeated before this journey began. These manifestations taunt Link with images from his previous adventure, perhaps drawn from Link's own memories, mixed into the dream. The nightmares plead one last time. This island is going to disappear. Our world is going to disappear. Our world, our world. Link defeats the nightmares. Their final transformation, a cyclopean shadow called Death, with dual tentacles, falls to Link's blade. With the nightmares destroyed, stairs appear upward. Link climbs and emerges onto a platform suspended in a starry sky. The owl hovers there, revealing its true nature at last. The owl was the windfish's spirit all along, the guardian of the dream world. The owl explains that nightmares entered the dream world and began wreaking havoc, but Link arrived to rescue the island. The owl always trusted in Link's courage and knew he could turn back the nightmares. With gratitude expressed, the owl's work is done. The windfish will wake soon. The windfish appears, a massive whale-like creature adorned with cloth, metals, and precious stones. The deity speaks directly to Link. I am the windfish. Long has been my slumber. In my dreams, an egg appeared and was surrounded by an island with people, animals, an entire world. But verily it be the nature of dreams to end. When I do awaken, Koholint will be gone. Only the memory of this dreamland will exist in the waking world. Someday thou might recall this island. That memory must be the real dream world. Come, Link, let us awaken together. Link plays the 8 instruments of the sirens one final time. The Ballad of the Windfish echoes across the vanishing dreamscape. The game shows a montage of scenes from Maeve Village, the places Link visited, the people he helped, all fading to white. The final image is Marin singing by the wind vane, her voice carrying across the village one last time before everything disappears. Koholint Island, seen from above in a calm sea, slowly fades into nothingness like a bubble popping.
Link is carried through the starry sky by a jet of water. He awakens to find himself in the middle of the ocean, clinging to driftwood from his destroyed ship. The storm has passed, the sun hangs in the sky. Link looks up and sees the windfish flying overhead, a majestic creature soaring through the clouds before disappearing into the distance. Link floats alone in the vast ocean, the only evidence that any of it happened. But there's more for players who completed a perfect run, those who never died even once during their entire playthrough. After the credits finish rolling, an additional scene appears. Marin is shown in the clouds with wings, singing. In Link's Awakening DX, this becomes a full-color image, showing Marin clearly before she transforms into a seagull and flies away across the sky.
The implication is ambiguous. Did Link somehow allow Marin's spirit to transcend the dream and achieve her wish of becoming a seagull? Did the windfish grant her existence beyond the dream? Or is this simply Link's desperate hope, his imagination refusing to accept that she's truly gone? The moral complexity of Link's awakening sets it apart from every other Zelda story. In most Zelda games, Link's role is clear: defeat evil, save the princess, protect the kingdom. Right and wrong are obvious, but on Koholint Island, Link faces an impossible choice. He can remain trapped forever, allowing the island and its inhabitants to continue existing in their dreamlike peace, or he can awaken the windfish, escape to freedom, but condemn an entire world with sentient, thinking, feeling beings to oblivion. The game never presents this as an actual choice to players. Link must proceed. The game requires awakening the windfish to see the ending. Yet, the narrative forces players to confront the implications. Link is committing what amounts to genocide against every inhabitant of Koholint Island. They may be dreams, but they have consciousness. They have lives, hopes, fears, and relationships. Marin's feelings for Link are genuine within the context of her existence. Does their dreamlike nature make them less real, less worthy of preservation? The nightmares aren't purely evil entities. They're manifestations of the windfish's desire to keep dreaming, to not face waking reality. They want to exist. They're fighting for survival against Link, who represents the end of their world. Every monster Link defeats on Koholint Island is a creature desperately trying to preserve its own existence and the existence of its home. From their perspective, Link is the villain, an intruder bringing apocalypse. Marin in particular embodies the tragedy. She possesses self-awareness about her limitations. She senses something beyond Koholint exists, even though she can't conceive it clearly. Her wish to become a seagull represents a longing for transcendence, for something more than her bounded existence. When she sings the ballad of the windfish, she performs the very song that will end her life. She teaches this song to Link, knowing, on some level, what it means. Does she understand she's teaching Link how to destroy her world? Does she do it anyway because she loves him and wants him to be free, even if freedom costs her everything? The ending leaves Link adrift, literally and metaphorically. He's alive. He's free. He can return to Hyrule eventually. But what does he carry with him? The memory of Koholint will exist in his mind, as the windfish promised. Every person he met, every moment he experienced remains preserved in memory. But memory is a poor substitute for reality. Link saved himself, but destroyed an entire world in the process. That's not heroism in the traditional sense. That's survival purchased through sacrifice. Not Link's sacrifice, but the sacrifice of everyone who existed in the windfish's dream. Link's awakening asks questions that have no easy answers. If Koholint only existed as a dream, did its inhabitants have moral worth? Did Link commit an atrocity by destroying their existence, or did he simply end an illusion? If consciousness only exists while dreaming, is there a meaningful difference between dreamed existence and real existence? The game provides no definitive answers, trusting players to wrestle with these philosophical problems themselves. This moral complexity elevates Link's awakening beyond simple adventure fare into genuinely thought-provoking territory. The game demonstrates that video games can tell stories as emotionally complex as any other medium. Not every ending where the hero wins is happy. Not every quest completed is worth celebrating. Sometimes saving yourself means destroying others. Sometimes the right thing to do feels awful. Sometimes heroes make terrible choices because all choices available are terrible. That's the full story of Link's awakening. A shipwrecked hero fighting to escape a dream island, falling in love with an impossible girl, learning the horrible truth about the world's nature, and awakening a sleeping god despite knowing it will erase everything and everyone. Link succeeds. Link escapes. Link survives. But the cost was Marin's existence, Tarn's life, every villager in Mabe, every creature on Koholint. Gone, all of them, vanishing like bubbles on needles the moment the windfish opened its eyes. And Link floats alone in the ocean, the only person in existence who will ever remember they were real. That's not just a story. That's a tragedy disguised as triumph. That's why 30 years later, players still feel melancholic when they think about that island that disappeared, and the girl who wanted to be a seagull, and the hero who destroyed a world to save himself.